Manchester. So I'm glad you're in Manchester because you couldn't find a Labour MP to speak in this slot. And the reason is because Johnny Reynolds and Debbie Abrahams are the only two that support electoral reform. It is a Labour heartland, and your perspective changes the way you think about electoral reform. So just forgive the Labour Party for not having seen the point as yet. But we're working on that change. We don't want to choose a voting system which helps our party or helps another party specifically. We want it to help democracy. So I wanted to say that the biggest uphill task we have is, if there are any Labour Party people here, is the job that we have to do, which is to change the Labour Party from the inside out. And I'd like to say that we are starting off this from a good base, because in 2015, Make Votes Matter started to work with the Labour campaign for electoral reform. A lot of new MPs went into the House of Commons determined to change the voting system, and they're all still there. The only people who lost their seats were first past the post supporters. I hope. Do we know that one of the reasons why the Labour Party increased its vote is because it appealed to third-party voters? If there are any Green Party people or Liberal Democrats here, we ought to be grateful for that vote. We ought not to turn our backs on the fact that we have a rotten voting system just because we improve our number of MPs. What I'd like you all to do is to contact your Labour candidates. Don't wait until the next general election. We have at least 100 of them lined up in favour of electoral reform. That's out of 650. And we had 15 extra new MPs, Labour MPs, who went into the House of Commons. We had a lot of the marginal seat MPs who see the problem coming out for electoral reform during the election. So what I want to call for is a non-aggression pact between electoral reformers and between the parties who want change. Because if you attack the Labour Party for what it doesn't do, instead of congratulating for what it does do, that makes our task as electoral reformers inside the Labour Party to change the party much harder. So I just want to share with you that we're on the move. I don't think we're going to get Labour candidates to stand down like the Progressive Alliance wanted, unless the party machinery changes its mind and we get it through the conference this year. But I don't think that should stop you. We need other parties to beat the Conservatives in order to get the result that we want, which is a PR Parliament, a PR House of Commons. And that is really important, and we can't do that without all the parties, all the electoral reformers working together. So follow us on Twitter, Labour for PR. Look at our website. When I first joined the Labour campaign for electoral reform, a group of women got together and we called ourselves the New Suffragettes, because I see this in the long line from Peterloo through the Chartists, through the Suffragettes, to changing the voting system and having a decent democracy. And we do that together. But the Labour Party has to change. We are not going to achieve electoral reform without a Labour-led or a Labour government. And we need to make sure before the election, Labour has a path to PR in its manifesto. I hope you'll join together and get that achieved.